What's up guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk to you about cycle 2. So there's a lot in this video, but let's start from the very beginning. So after we failed cycle 1, we wanted to jump right back in and get started again with infertility treatments. My doctor recommended putting me back on birth control. So that's where we begin. We're about to start cycle 2 of IVF. So they want me back on birth control. So I will be emotionally stable for 2 weeks, and then it's back downhill from there. For about 2 to 3 weeks, I was on birth control. And then once they felt like everything was regulated, we had that appointment with our doctor that you saw the video about. And then I got a giant box of medications in the mail and a calendar. This time, my medications were pretty similar to last time, but they were a different name brand. So instead of getting like the CVS brand, I got Meyer brand. I don't know if there's any really big difference, but the first time I did have a reaction to that Cetrotide. I kind of show you guys that big red mark I got on my skin, and it would be like really itchy. So they gave me a different version of that same medication. So there's Cetrotide and Gonal F, and then there's Ganirelix and Follistim. So they're like the same thing but different names. So this time we just switched on over to the other name brand. They all came, I tried to get organized. It's a lot of medications, so if you have any questions about how I stayed organized, please let me know. I'm not a very organized person by nature. I kind of thrive off organized chaos, I guess, but I still needed to get my calendar straight and everything sorted on the wall and in a place where I could see it to make sure I was doing everything right. You're working in the emergency department, I have a whole pod of patients that I'm the doctor for or the fellow for, depending on the day. And so it was hard to kind of sneak away from my patients and give my medications. First of all, because I want to be quick, I don't want to leave patients waiting for me forever, but I also need to be sterile, I need to get my medications at the right time, and I needed a place to mix my medications. And as you can see, there's like no good place for that. They do have staff bathrooms, but there's no counter space. There's nowhere to really mix my medication. So I found myself kind of coming up with a new way to do it every day to kind of see what was better. So it was a battle just trying to make sure my meds were given on time and also taking care of my patient. When you gotta take your meds at work and there's literally nowhere to put anything to mix your meds, so you bring a random chair in. Making it work. We did the medications, and then I had those same appointments I did last time where I had to go to the doctor's office 2 to 3 times a week for my ultrasounds. So I gotta, do the spread eagle position, visit with Wanda, the fun vaginal probe, and get more blood work done 2 to 3 days a week. So I still did that, and then they were checking to see how my follicles were growing. This time, luckily, I had more follicles react, which I was super excited about, because the last time they had me on an estrogen priming protocol, and this time they didn't. So I was a little nervous that I wasn't going to get as many eggs, but the doctor, as well as myself, were pleasantly surprised. I actually got more eggs. So I took a little bit of live footage of me going to some of these doctor's appointments. Hey guys, I'm about to go to my appointment. I've been on stims now for 4 days. Today would be my 5th day. But they have us come in to repeat ultrasounds like pretty frequently. So today I'll be going in for blood work and ultrasound to see if I'm responding to the medications. If I am responding, I'm going to start a 3rd injection tonight. If I'm not responding, I don't know exactly what they're going to have me do. Oh, that's Sansa in the background. So we'll see. I'm hoping I am responding. Last time we did an estrogen priming protocol, and this time we didn't. So I'm not sure. Hopefully it didn't make a huge difference. I want to do this. I want to get it done. So we'll see. Also excuse my crazy hair and my bags under my eyes. I worked until midnight last night and had to get up early for this appointment. So, I will touch back with you guys and let you know how many follicles I have. We want multiple follicles and we want them to be big, okay? So last time I got 5 out of like 10 to respond. Most people have more than 10 follicles, but not me. We got like 5 to respond, which was pretty good for how bad my numbers are. So I'm hoping at least 5 will respond this time too. We can't move forward if only like 1 or 2 are. So hopefully they'll see lots of follicles and then they can tell me to start my 3rd injection today. I'll let you know. Hey guys. So I'm just leaving the doctor's office. It took a little bit longer than expected because my left ovary likes to hide. As you can imagine, it's kind of doesn't feel great while they're in there searching around for it. But I actually got some good news today. Last cycle, my right ovary produced 3 eggs, my right produced 3 and my left produced 2, which was a total of 5 eggs that they were able to get. Right now, the doctor's seeing at least 4 large follicles on my right and at least 3 large ones on my left. So I am going to get to start my medication today. And then the plan is for me to come back on Monday for another ultrasound. And if everything still looks good, we're going to do the retrieval early. We're going to do it on Wednesday. So the only bad news is John has to work on Wednesday. So I have to give him a call right now and see if he can reschedule his patients so that he can be here to give a fresh sample on Wednesday. Because when they retrieve the eggs, they go in with the sperm that same day and fertilize them. And then they watch them for a couple days and see which ones make it to embryos. So I have to call him right now and see if he can try to reschedule his patients. The only problem is, like, if he reschedules them for a Monday or something, that could potentially be our transfer day. So it's a little bit difficult. So I'm going to call him and see what we can do. But either way, I'm excited. I hope this cycle continues to go well. Let's make a baby. So in that video, I kind of talk about how things were going so well, they thought we were going to do a retrieval a little bit earlier than scheduled. But when I went to my appointment on Monday for another ultrasound and blood work, they thought it was actually not as ahead as they originally saw. So we went ahead with the original retrieval date. This meant that John had to, again, make some changes with his schedule and his own patients. So once he got that all organized, our retrieval fell on a Friday. He was able to drive me to my appointment. So we're currently on our way to our 2nd retrieval. It's been a long 10 days of stimulant medications, and we triggered about 48 hours ago with HCG shot. So what that means is if I peed on a pregnancy test right now, it would say I was pregnant, which I'm not. But the plan for today is I go into the office and the doctor takes a long needle and puts it like inside of me and goes through like my vaginal wall to get eggs out. So hopefully he gets a lot of eggs today. We'll see.
Yep. So it looks like there's 10 eggs this time, but only 5 of them are of size. He said he wants
18.
Man, the lighting is terrible. But he wants size of 18, and you have some that are close to that, some that are over that. So we're just hoping for the best, and hopefully they grew in the past 2 days. So
yep, hopefully we'll let you know after the procedure.
how you feeling?
Nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Because it's gonna hurt again.
Time to go jerk off in a cup. Well, surprise, surprise. The doctor's office is running late yet again. We were supposed to be seen at 8. She didn't get taken back for her procedure, which was the egg retrieval, until like 8:50. Good news is her dad is coming to pick her up. I have to run and see patients. I could only get my patients moved until 10 o'clock. It's like 9:30. I got to get going, but it's going to be an awesome day, and it's all worth it because they got 8 eggs. Last time they only got 5, so this is amazing. Couldn't be happier, and it's going to be a good day.
So I'm home now. Sorry I forgot to record on the way home. I was a little hopped up on drugs. And now we wait and see how many of the 8 fertilized. We're supposed to get a phone call tomorrow where they tell us that. Sorry, I've got cat hair on my eye. Oscar is taking care of me right now. Aren't you, Oscar? Yeah, Mama's boy. My dad actually had to come pick me up because John was only able to move his patients back until 10 a.m. and then had to rush back to work, and we got a little bit later start at the office, the doctor's office, than we thought. So he was able to take me there, stay until right after my procedure, and then he had to rush off to work. And then while I woke up and they took my vitals and all that good stuff, my dad drove up and he took me home. So John is currently working. He's gonna come home and check on me on his lunch break, but I'm actually not in any pain right now, which is great. Last time I got pretty crampy. Sorry, Oscar. But so far so good. Haven't taken any pain meds at all yet. And I'm just chilling with Oscar D. And we're gonna have a nice, relaxing day today. And excuse the no makeup, but they tell us the day of transfer, of retrieval and transfer, that we shouldn't have any scented lotions or body wash or anything, because the eggs are pretty fragile and the lightest things can harm them. So I didn't even bother putting on any makeup. I just went natural and want to give them the best chance they can to become a baby for me one day and for John. So we will let you know what the results are. Hopefully all 8 are mature and all 8 fertilize. Keeping my fingers crossed. Alright, thanks for checking in. After the retrieval, things seemed to go really well. Was feeling good. I had my nightly progesterone injection in my butt, which again, John gave to me when he was home, and when he wasn't home, my mom came up and stayed with me. So that was pretty nice. So of the 8 eggs they were able to retrieve, 6 made it through fertilization, which is actually really good. There's some people that get like 20 eggs or 30 eggs, not the case for us. But they only had like 10 or so make it through fertilization. So the fact that we had 8 to begin with, which is a low number, but 6 made it out of fertilization, gave us pretty decent chances. So then we wait for transfer day. On transfer day, as you saw on the old video, my mom had to take me in the past. But this time John made it so that he could come. This transfer fell on a Wednesday, and John does work out of town on Wednesdays, but he made sure that he was going to be there for this one. I don't know if it was just something we were both thinking that maybe this one didn't work because he wasn't there for it. I know that's kind of a silly way to think, but I don't know. It's like maybe those embryos knew that their dad wasn't there and they didn't want to hang out. So we wanted to make sure that he was there for this transfer. So he worked the morning out of town and then drove 2 hours to be there for my transfer. Alright, so we are currently about to go in for our transfer. As I mentioned before, they were able to get 8 eggs and 6 fertilized, so we'll find out today what kind of quality they each are, and we're planning on just transferring 1, but hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, we don't know if all 6 made it, what the status is, and what the qualities are. So we're going to talk to the doctor right now and go from there.
Yep. I got my swag on today thanks to one of my friends I met through an IVF support group. I highly recommend it if you guys are going through the same thing. It really does help to have other people going through the situation with you. And I also got these fancy socks. So big thanks to her. I'm hoping it sends us some good luck. But we're gonna go in now, so wish us luck.
Why are you kicking your legs?
Because I really gotta pee.
Why do you have to pee?
Because they tell you to drink like 2 giant bottles of water before you come in, because your bladder's supposed to be full. So it is very full. They make sure that your bladder is full. Again, I drank too much water and had to almost pee myself, but they made me go pee again before the transfer. But we both got gowned up and he got to come back and he got to experience it with me, which was really special. You see the 2, you know, the embryos on the dish, and they put them in a little pipette and then they insert them into my vaginal canal and into my cervix, all on ultrasound. So you get to see the whole thing and you get your first baby pictures. And I don't know if it's just my excitement, but I even thought that these little embryos looked better than the last ones. Again, I'm not an reproductive endocrinologist, so I really don't know what I'm talking about. But these eggs look a little bit more divided than the ones we had last time, so I hope that's good news. When the doctor put them in, he said that they were graded, I think, 4AA and 4AB, which is pretty good on the grading scale. From what my Google searches, the highest grade would be a 6, and then the highest like breakdown of cells, I don't know if that's not the right word, but the amount of cells that are being built is A. So the highest you could get is 6AA, but that means that the egg is actually already hatched a little bit. So ours were 4AA and 4AB, which is pretty good. He put them in and he said, if this doesn't work, I don't know what will. So John and I are both feeling pretty good. After I'm recovering, laying in the bed, the nurse is talking to you because they want you to lay down for about 20 minutes after they put them in hopes that like they adhere better to my uterine lining. That I'm laying there resting, and the nurse comes to make sure I have all my medications right. So it turns out that they wanted me to start Lovenox, which is a blood thinner, and I had no idea. My calendar they had given me didn't have Lovenox on it, so I never got the Lovenox filled. I also was supposed to be taking aspirin and steroids. I had got the steroids for some reason, and I was taking them, but I wasn't taking them correctly. They wanted me to be taking like 3 to 4 doses a day. I don't remember now because I'm off of it at this point. But they wanted me to take 3 to 4 doses a day, and I was only taking it once a day. Because on the bottle, it says use as directed. And when they had sent me home for my retrieval, on the information sheet, it just said take the steroids. It didn't say how often. So I was just taking it once a day. I had no idea. You'd think as a doctor I would know, but again, I'm a pediatrician. I don't give steroids for this kind of thing. I give steroids for asthma and stuff like that, but this is different. So if you're not getting correct instructions from your doctor, or you're not understanding what they're telling you, make sure to advocate for yourself. Because I made the mistake there. I didn't follow up with asking more questions. I just made an assumption that I knew what I was supposed to do. So always advocate for yourself. Anyway, I didn't have the Lovenox, I didn't have the aspirin, so they gave me like a couple days worth while I called my pharmacy and got this sorted out. So then I started blood thinners and aspirin. And now we wait. We do 2 weeks of this progesterone shot, which we started right after the retrieval. And we do 2 weeks of this Lovenox and aspirin, and I finish up my steroids, and we wait and we pray, and we hope that these babies will stick. So please follow us, like, subscribe, and stay tuned to see if hopefully this cycle of IVF works for us. Okay guys, we appreciate prayers, positive thoughts, any advice you guys have for us. Please, good vibes for us on this cycle of IVF. So we'll let you know how it goes. I'm excited and hopeful, and I know John is too. See you next time.